Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, a happy Monday to you all. Hopefully you enjoyed your weekends. I am on a nice little lunch break. I've got a Sando in front of me that I probably should have tucked into by now, but we have new music to check out, and this is a very exciting one indeed, because today marks the return of ZEROBASEONE, their first proper comeback after their debut in Bloom, which really wasn't that too long ago, I feel like. Just the turnaround ZB1 have gotten after their debut feels a lot shorter than previous Produce groups, or like the previous Produce and Planet groups, which is kind of cool. As I'm never going to complain about getting new music, especially from Produce and Planet group that I know has already been through the ringer as is. So we're going to check out the title track today, ZEROBASEONE's Crush. And of course, there's also an EP that goes along with this as well. I believe there's a 5-song EP that goes along with it, so we're going to be checking out the other 4 B-sides later today, if that isn't out already, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But in the meantime, let's check out the title track one time. DJ, roll the intro! Before we start, I do want to look at the album credits, because, let's see, where? You usually don't go over these on the title track, per se, but I've seen on the social medias that a certain Miss Adora has taken part in the production side of things on this album, and I want to know which song it is. Oh, and it's on the flippin' title track. I love that. I've been getting into Adora recently, and knowing that she's had such a big hand in the production side of things for so many different artists, and for songs that I really didn't know she had any part in, has been such a cool thing. And that to know that Adora has also taken part in Crush as well is very cool. Also, I do have to admit one thing, and this is coming as a bit of an apology, but I have not learned the members yet. I've tried. I tried for like a week, just going through various bits of content here and there, and it was just too fast-paced for me. I reckon I can piece together some, not everyone though. So apologies for that. I'm hoping I can learn a little bit more once we check out the lyric videos and the B-sides. But for now, let's check out the title track one time. Here we go! What is this? Hold on. Talk about making an impact statement. Oh my goodness. Okay, this second release in the chorus, though, is very nice. I like that, mixing the flows. One was in 4 meter, one was in 3 meter, triple meter. And that like slowly adjusting filtering in the vocal part leading into the chorus, very cool. Yeah, that initial drop when things go kind of crazy is very cool, but it's the second release that really makes it for me. Oh, I'll peep the vocals one time. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Oh, we got a glimpse of a high note in there. Hold on. Oh, give me more high note. Give me more. Oh, what's going on in the instrumental part? Bonafide outro. Wow. Oh, that's a very clever animation. I like that at the end. Wow. They've kind of stepped it up a notch, haven't they? I'm actually quite impressed by that. Not in like the song is blowing my mind, but kind of the direction they've gone with and the improvement they've made from their debut. They sound locked in now, and this kind of trancey, synthy, kind of quick, this vibe, like Crush very much feels like an evolution of In Bloom in a way, and I quite like it. As I'm trying to think of, this kind of really quick-paced synth sound isn't like brand new to the industry, but I feel like it's a sound that isn't as popular as, say, the typical retro synth sound of like, say, TXT's Chasing That Feeling, where it's that plucky synth. It's made to sound kind of brassy. It's got a bop to it that is very much nostalgic of like the 1980s sound. This is a little bit of a different vein of that synthy pop sound, but I quite like that they are sticking in that lane, because that was one of the things about In Bloom that I really enjoyed, was the sound that they've decided to take. And Crush is like an evolved version of that, and I'm so on board with it. I like that the composition is actually a little bit more explorative than In Bloom, I feel like. It's taking a couple of gambles here and there that I think honestly might have paid off for them. Like, here, we'll run through the beginning again. It's that. So you start off with this slow, plucky synth that kind of reverberates into the nothingness, which is honestly very fitting for a scene of this nature, where it just looks like, well, it looks like you're standing in a cube of water, but it's like it's an endless expanse of nothingness, so the sound rings out as much. And then switch the sound, a little bit of an urban setting, flashing lights, much faster paced. Ooh, hold on. Oh, I just wish, if I had to make one comment about this song, it's that I wish that the kind of impactful high notes in the vocal line were held a little bit longer, because it's like, I want to latch onto them, but then they take it away from me just before, when I'm like satisfied enough with them. I want more extended, lengthened high notes. There's plenty of them in this song, but they're just not long enough to really be able to sink your teeth into. It's like getting an entire dinner full of tiny appetizers and never getting the full course menu. I mean, sure, tapas exists, but it's like getting one plate of tapas for a table of 6, and that's it. Get me what I mean? It's like I want something to really be able to like savor. That build is very interesting from a compositional point of view and from like a song flow point of view, because I mean, what follows it is kind of wild, right? So to have something be that impactful and go with that, shock factor in the next phrase of the song, you need to have something a little bit creative to transition between, the quick, fast-paced section of the verse and that really high intense initial drop of the chorus. So what they do with this pre-chorus, I think is really smart. Actually, we'll go back one more. It's like up until we get Jung-ho, right? Up until we get him, they're holding on to that fast-paced motif from the verse, and yet they're slowly adding something in the background, whether it's, you know, an extra bit of white noise, a proper riser, or they're adding more instrumentals. You hear something building, and you hear it in the vocal top line as well. Just hear it kind of build up, waiting for something to happen. And then there should be one final capstone here that really holds everything together. And what they do is they isolate the vocals, they filter the vocals, and they add this kind of digital effect to it that leaves you thinking, what is happening here? And then that full drop happens. You make me feel so supernatural. And that is a hard-hitting drop. Like, that is a drop that attacks the eardrums. That is one that really does not hold back when it lands. And that eventually transitions into... and finishing that chorus going... Who's that? So that's Jung-ho into Jung into... Sok Matthew? Right? Again, names and faces are not my strong suit in ZB1 at the moment, so apologies if I got any of those wrong, but I think the kind of going from that really fluttery high tone that Jung-ho does into like a tone that slowly becomes like naturally lower while they're singing the same range, you can tell their comfortable range gets a little bit lower per step, and the tone gets a little bit fuller as the artist changes, which then eventually leads into the rap verse. And I think that transition is so natural and so nice to listen to. Speaking of the rap verse, actually. So the first two, you get in triplets, and then you go into 16ths or 16ths or eighths. And it's that contrasting rhythmic motion, because 3 and 4 do not divide evenly into each other. You can, well, you know, if you go work in fractions, of course you can, but if you keep it in whole notes, you can't divide 3 into 4. So having a rap flow that takes advantage of both, we're in triplet meter, yeah, and then you have that second half of that rap verse in 4. That creates such a nice contrast. And I've always said, whenever it comes to rap verses, that having a 1-2 rap combo is like the ultimate way of executing a rap verse, or just any part of the song in general. If you can have a 1-2 combination of anything, where it's like going back and forth like a call and response, or like an go A and then go B, by naturally providing any opportunity to create a contrast like that, your ears are always going to be attracted to it. That's a great rap verse for me. You know what this release is for me? I mean, the song is great, don't get me wrong. But for me, I don't think it really mattered if the song was to my liking or not, because for me, what I wanted to see most out of this release today was their improvement. Not just in like their sound, but the comfortableness they have in their sound, the chemistry they have behind the mic with each other, with the sound team involved with like working on their music. And honestly, I'd say they've made a massive improvement after In Bloom. And to be fair, In Bloom was a very high quality song already, but they just sound comfortable behind the mic now. Like a lot more comfortable behind the mic. I think the music team understands what each member's like strong suits are. Admittedly, I don't really know line distributions because, again, names and faces. Not my strong suit with this group yet. But to be able to kind of hear each member and they sound comfortable in the range that they're singing and things like that, it's already looking up for them. And having like listened to a lot of the Produce and Planet groups as debut projects and their first comebacks and things like that. Of course, I haven't watched any of the shows since Produce 48. but having like listened to all the groups and their pre-releases or the pre-debuts and their debut projects, their comebacks, ZB1's improvement is very nice and it's very promising to see because, I mean, their turnaround after their debut feels really quick. And if that's the case, this level of improvement, if they can sustain it, is going to be absolutely spectacular to see come next year. And I'm already excited for that. But before that, of course, we have an album to get around to, so keep your eyes peeled for that if you're interested. But that is it from me today. Thank you all for watching along with me. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. One last request from me today. Let's work together as a community to bring a little bit of extra happiness back into the world, whether it be checking with your friends and family, holding the door open for somebody, or even picking up a piece of trash off the street. Just one small act of kindness to make brighten someone else's day to day. And know that wherever you are in the world, should you ever be going through a tough time in your life, for whatever reason it may be, even though I'm just some guy on the internet who waffles about music in his free time, know that I will always be a friend, ally, shoulder to lean on whenever you need me. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, spread the love, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.